ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is Emily. She is a practitioner. She helps heal people. She just works with people, and she does a wide variety of things. She also sees entities and also past life regression, certain things like that that I'm trying to wrap my head around. So I thought I'd just bring her on my podcast and just go over some of those things. What's up?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell me. Um, I've never seen entities or anything like that. And most people that I try to talk to about that stuff, they're like, "Yeah, some people are crazy and stuff." But how do you rationalize that?
Some people are crazy, but some people they really can see stuff, and so that's where I fit into.
Okay, tell me more about it. Like, how does that work? Like, when we were talking last time at your house, you said that you were able to see these things since you were a child,
Yes,
and it was just
they
normal for you.
yes,
And
but
did you say your
they're kind
mother?
of scary, like a little bit. Like when you first see them, you're like, most people freak out when they see
Okay,
them. Yeah.
and how do you see these things? I guess you saw it as a child. Did your mom see it? Did your grandma see it? Is it like passed down from generation to generation? How does it work? Like, tell me more. Like,
I don't know. I don't. My mom doesn't see them. She has ESP as well, but she does not see them.
and that's your sensory perception is what it's called,
Yes.
ESP. Tell me more. Like, could we go into detail on this? You said there's like good ones, bad ones. They look like people. Some of them don't look like people. But you just have this sense of vibrational feeling.
Yes, a lot of them, like the ones that are good or here to help someone, they have a different energy than the ones that are just the darker and up to no good ones.
Okay. Can you elaborate on this?
Yeah, the good ones, like you want to be around them. They're peaceful and happy and
But
joyful.
how do you know when you're around them? Like most people, like I've never seen anything like that. And when someone says they have, I don't like to be a type of person that says I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it, because you can definitely feel some things. And I've heard of different stories of people just seeing ghosts, and these are very logical people, and it's only happened to them once in their life, whether they saw their grandfather after their grandfather died, or whether they saw their father after they just buried their father, and they weren't asleep. It wasn't like a night terror or a dream. It was very vivid.
I think that grandparents, especially right when they pass, they come to those in their family just to send them love and check on them and to say, "Hey, I'm okay," type of thing.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And so, but a lot of grandparents, that's very normal for them to come to grandkids or kids when they pass on and their spirit is still around.
How do you know that spirit's not there to harm you? If it's your grandpa, or maybe they resent you. How do you?
Never really thought about
Yeah,
that.
seriously. I mean, you know,
They
why?
could.
Why? What's the purpose of someone dying and coming back to you?
Usually unfinished business or like they just want to usually to tell people that they're okay and that it's okay to, let go and to have them pass on.
Oh, it's okay. So it's kind of like just
Closure.
closure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Closure.
like a lot of kids, because I know a lot of kids that have seen things too. And they, like, one son, he was actually, my friend's son was at camping when the grandma had died, and she came to him a while. Like, I knew she was gone. And the daughter was like, "No, she's just going to be in her room." And I'm like, okay. And then, but she had come already. I'd already seen her ghost and spirit. And so,
Okay. Let's talk about something more interesting, like
okay.
your car accidents.
Okay.
And your doctors told you, I just popped into my head that you're never going to be able to walk. And you've been in numerous car accidents. You're
Yes.
paralyzed for life. At least that's what
Yes,
the
that's
doctor
what they
says.
told me.
That's what medical professionals, doctors,
Yep. Doctors and
MDs, and
specialists.
specialists and physical therapists, occupational therapists, they all told you that you're going to be paralyzed for life
Mm-hmm.
and not be able to walk. What was the condition?
Just because, that I was going to be a vegetable and just be in a wheelchair.
Was it like your spine was broken? What happened?
Yeah, I
You're
have.
paraplegic?
I tore all of my muscles and ligaments from my neck to my knees in my original car accident.
Okay, and you're T-boned.
Hmm.
And can you just tell us how you worked through this and you're able to just walk because you walked here, you walked up
I
the
did.
stairs?
I did walk here.
Yeah.
It's
So
taken a long road of healing and process, and I did everything that medical providers, wanted me to do. I did, water therapy and massage therapy and chiropractic and DRX machines and stretching and physical therapy and all sorts of modalities and every kind of medication, everything. And it just wasn't cutting it. And the doctors just didn't believe that I could actually, have a life again. And I'm like, well, thanks, I'll keep going. But I actually had to change my mindset and to tell myself, to just walk and take a step and do it, even though it's painful.
I mean, how though can you walk me through this? Even the doctors are like, you're not able to walk. You can't move your legs, right?
Yeah, I couldn't. I had to learn how to use them again. I had to learn how to walk again, how to learn how to sit, stand, bend, twist, move.
Did you have like medical professionals helping you, or was it just like you in the room, like, hey, get up, you're gonna walk?
Yeah, like my mom was dragging me to physical therapy right after the original accident, like dragging me out the door. And it was just hard to even like the slowest speed on the treadmill was too fast. And I remember like almost falling, like how like you're running on a treadmill and it's going too fast and you like fall. It was like that, even though it was on the slowest speed.
What's the slowest speed? Like half a mile?
1.0, no, like
1 mile an hour. Okay, got
Yeah,
it. Got
like
it.
it was very, very slow walk.
Okay, but before that, you couldn't even walk, right? So what did you tell yourself to get better? I mean, was it like you're never gonna be able to walk, or you're never gonna be able to walk normally?
No, they said I wouldn't be able to walk again, and because I had severed lots of stuff in my spinal. My small of my back actually has a ton of scar tissue
Ouch.
still, and it's
Okay.
super sharp. But
You
yeah, they
didn't get
just told
surgery?
me. I am still waiting for some of the surgeries. COVID kind of shut all the surgeries down. Now they're starting to do it again. I just need to have hip and shoulder and knee surgery. But the back surgery, they wouldn't do it because I have too many that are messed up.
Okay. So what else? Like, did you just tell yourself, I'm just gonna be able to walk?
Yeah, and I'm like, I just kept saying it over and over. I'm like, I can do this. I can do hard things. I can walk. I can keep going. And so and even if I can't go very far, I walk now. It might be with pain, but I actually walk and I try to actually not use wheelchairs and walkers when I can help it because I do sometimes have to still, like, because my one leg will just collapse out from under me,
Uh huh.
but it's because it's painful.
But do you just tell yourself, I don't care, I'm still gonna push through this?
Hmm.
No pain, no gain.
Kind of, only I now do pacing. It's called,
Pacing.
yeah, where you do something for a little while, like a however long, and then I'll take like a 15-20 minute break and then go back to whatever I was doing, and then I just do pacing. So it's a off on, off on, off on all
Okay.
day.
Cool. Do you have any advice for people that can't really walk, or they're in similar situations, they're in ruts?
Definitely, I would try all the physical therapies and all the
What about the
things.
mindset? Because if doctors are telling you you can't walk,
I would
why
do
even
both, but
why
because
even do physical therapy?
it's worth trying and doing and accomplishing and having the satisfaction of, yes, they said it was going to never happen and I made it happen. And it's just really cool to have that mindset and the happiness and the joy from going, oh, yes, I'm doing this. And so even every painful step that I take, I'm just like, yes, I'm walking. And so I just keep going.
Okay. Um, and what else do you do since you're a practitioner? How do you help people?
I help people in lots and lots of ways.
Yeah, it's
I do the from things from your parents, grandparents, and beyond. And so being able to see, feel, experience, sense, and help those that have passed on. A lot of the people that have deceased, like that come for my help, they're like, no, come help my ancestors. And they'll be like, I'll be in like, the grocery store line. They're like, say this to this person. I'm like, no, I don't want to say that because it was something, sometimes it's like super intimate and personal. And I used to be like super embarrassed to tell people. And now it just happens so much.
like
So
what?
I'm just
Like okay.
like even like people that wanted to take themselves out of this world. I'm like, don't do it. It's not. I'm like, you're worth. You matter, and that
Like you
you're
would just
important.
walk up to a random stranger and say, "Hey, your mom said don't kill yourself."
Yes, I've said that to people. I'm like, hey, your grandma wants you to know this, and they usually just start crying because they
Really?
hadn't told anybody, and nobody knows. And they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, I just do. I just know things that are. I've been learning my human design stuff and some of the channels. It was cool because I haven't always known that I've known stuff that was hard to be explained from this world to the next. And one of my channels says that in my human design. I was like, holy cow, that just validates what I I've already knew, and it was kind of
It's kind of
just
hard in my
different.
head. It's kind of, I don't want to say hard, but it's challenging for me to wrap my head around that. Not saying I don't believe you or I do believe you, because I've heard this from numerous people that they've seen different things. Some people just have certain gifts of channeling, but it's like you just walk up to random strangers and you tell them like intimate secrets and you just start bawling.
A lot of times, like, because they're somebody depends on who's saying it coming down from their line, but yeah,
Yeah,
it happens all the time, and people are like, "Holy cow, I haven't told anybody that. How do you know?" And they're like always so grateful because they're always like it helps them, and it's just information to help make their life better.
and people just appear to you out of nowhere.
Hmm.
But how do you rationalize that versus someone's? Do they? Is it just as real as me or I?
Yeah.
But how do you know if they're real or they're not?
They're more translucent. The ones that are like the angels and spirits, they're a little bit more see-through and translucent than people.
What about the ones that are just like ancestors? How are they?
They're still translucent, but they'll usually tell me which person they're around or ancestors, like who they're, because like if you're in a group of people, there's like tons of ancestors that are around, and so they'll be like, oh yeah, that person is my ancestor or my grandson or grandma niece or whatever, whoever they are there
Like
to see.
like Patrick Swayze and Ghost?
Yes. It's kind of
Really?
like that.
Kind of like that? So they look like real people. They're
Hmm.
walking. They're not floating like
Yeah.
the Casper. They're legitimately
Yeah.
like Patrick Swayze, but
Yeah.
they're like more translucent.
Hmm. Yes.
And that's how you just distinguish that from a real person.
Yes. They also have a different like feeling and energy too, like because they're alive and they're currently alive and their
Hmm.
organisms in their body, and so they just give off a different type of energy too, and so like people that have passed on have a different essence about them.
Can we dive into that a little more? Like
Sure.
like what would you be able to describe it to me? Because I'm blind to that.
Let's see.
So is it kind of like when you're at a party and you just meet someone or you just know someone's there and you just get that gut feeling that just stay away from that person?
Yes, a lot of times that is like that is a person, like that they're just either really messed up or they're into stuff that you just don't want to be part of,
Yeah.
or and yeah, you get that dark feeling. It's a lot like that on the ones that you don't want to see or be around. It's like that eerie feeling.
What about the ones you do want to be around? How does that work?
The ones you do want around, I invite the ones that are good to be around all the time. I invite them to stick around, and it was funny because one of the kids that I mentor, she was like, there are spirits that are hanging on the back of the car. I'm like, I know, I can feel them. I'm like,
Really?
she's like, they're being like hanging on for dear life. I'm like, you're right, they are. And if they're good, you can invite them in. If they're not, tell them they're not welcome. And she's like, okay.
Would you say these things are vibrating at a different frequency?
Hmm.
How can you pick up on that frequency?
Probably training your mind and like telling yourself, just doing things like, because everybody is born with the gift of seeing and sight, and then a lot of the like kids, they get told, oh, it's just your imagination, it's a make believe person, and so a lot of the people lose their
Yeah, yeah.
gifts, and so
What did you say last time you like wake up a kid right when they're napping? And what do you ask them? Like, how are you when you were grown up?
yeah.
And they'll start telling you?
Yeah, like the ones the toddler age, like
Toddler age.
yeah, if you ask them about when they were big, most of them will tell you about other worlds and the times when they were actually an adult. And
You have to wake them up right when they were sleeping and ask them.
hmm.
That's interesting because my friend's a psychologist in Los Angeles, child psychologist, and he tells me he's like numerous times kids just start rambling about like past lives and stuff like that, and he gets into it with them.
Hmm.
And he's like random kids. He's like I'm their
They do, and
therapist.
the ones that are older will still be able to talk about it if they still believe in it. But if they've been told, "Oh, that's not true. I don't believe
Yeah.
you," then kids go, "Oh, okay," and they just shut it off, and then it becomes not part of their life anymore, or they just don't tell people anymore.
So that I've heard numerous times. But they're very detail
Hmm.
oriented. It's not like something someone's making up. Like oh this kid has imagination. Like no, this kid has been there.
Hmm. That's true. And it's just fascinating to me. Like I've been in the space where like the soul's like an inner modal hub or something, kind of like the train
Intermodal hub.
or like that, like a train station or like a bus depot where there's just people coming and going. But I've been in like rooms that are like a room, and then there's like tunnels of light, like all these different directions around, and then so you can like pick a different pathway and just
Go where?
go wherever you want to. And
What do you mean? Like in this planet or like in this plane, in this dimension? Elaborate. Like,
there is, I have only passed through that twice. That I remember like going through it, and I was just kind of in awe of the beauty and like the wonders of it, because it was so many like different light tunnels and pathways, and there was just people and souls just going in and out, in and out, in and out, and all these tunnels, and it was pretty cool.
and who's controlling the tunnels? Is there a
I don't
conductor?
know. I don't know.
I'm just
Higher
I'm just-
power.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we could say source or
That's what
God.
it felt like, that it was source and God and higher powers and the universe. Like,
and this was just like a intersection,
yeah,
like like a
yeah.
like a
Only, but it
torrens?
was like, oh, how many? Probably like 25, 30 different.
tunnels.
Yeah, it was just
Okay.
cool to like be in there, and just the feeling, because like there was just different interesting spirits and souls that were around, and just watching people, because I like to people watch and angel watch. I just watch them all. And so they just, people about their business, and like there's always ones that are like super confused, or they're like ones that have purpose, that know what they're doing and where they're headed, and they're on a mission. And then there's like ones that are just confused and not sure what's happening.
So this is like the New York train station,
Yes, it's like busy, and it's happened through.
and people are just going wherever the hell they want.
hmm
Okay. I don't know
But
where
I
to go
think
with
they
this.
go. I think they go to like different worlds and different.
Different worlds.
Yes, I think they go to different.
And what do they do? Like, I always thought, like, so here's the thing. Like, you say you see bad angels, so the opposite of that has to be like demons.
Mhm.
But like, what is the purpose of this demon to to possess
Mostly
someone?
just chaos.
Just causing chaos. Like, what happens? Do they feed off of people's energy?
And then like they might make you believe in yourself, that not to believe in yourself. Like tell yourself, oh, you're not good enough, or you can't do this, or oh yeah, just do that thing and don't try your best, because they just want to tear you apart. And so the more you're like learning and doing good stuff, they don't like that. They get, mad or angry, because they want to have chaos, and they don't like people learning and bettering themselves.
I guess you have vibrate at a higher frequency if you're better and you learn yourself. Because
Right, because they don't want to be that. Exactly, because then the multitudes, and so if people are learning and growing, they try to stop you from actually accomplishing those goals and learning and going. And
like whispering certain things in your head. But why? What do they benefit from?
I think they just like to cause chaos. They get joy in making lives. People get mad and angry and have relationship problems and have things not go right, and you get mad at your own self and you tear yourself apart, because then you're doing a lot of the work that they would do, but you're the one eating at your own self, being like, if you tell yourself, I'm stupid, or I can't do this, or
Yeah.
it's hard, and so
So they're programming you.
Yes,
So they're programming you to fail. It's a self-destructive programming.
correct. And so lots of people listen to those and they give in, and it's hard.
And is that the opposite too? Like you would say angels?
Yeah, they would rather help people and cause peace and love and joy than chaos.
And where's the middle ground? This is actually getting interesting. Where's the middle ground?
As far as what?
Like the middle ground is like, like some people say polarity, non-duality.
Because I think lots of people are good people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Most of the world is good, but like there's temptation and stuff that leads you down the dark path.
Exactly, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I'm talking about these angels and demons. Like what is it, like God and the devil playing games? Like what's going on? Like
It could be. I feel like they're, because I have even family members that have actually met God and the devil at the same time. So they've met them, and like,
but how do you know it's God or the devil?
well, they introduce themselves too. They usually tell you. If you ask, they'll, most of the time the spirits will tell you who they are.
But
They could lie,
I mean, I don't want
but
to.
they-
Yeah, I'm good. I'd rather not meet anyone. Like people have asked me, like, do you want to see like the dark side, or you want to see the light? I was like, nah, I'm good, dude. I'll just stay right here.
Most people, yeah, see, and that's where the middle ground, like people, there's a lot of people that tell me, they're like, oh, I wish I had this. And I'm like, be careful what you wish for,
Be
because
careful
you
what you
might
wish for.
actually get it.
Yeah. But I mean, so that falls under. That's a fine line between like schizophrenia, because you seem pretty functioning, and I've been to your house. And you cut your kids. You're not like the government's after me. Like there's no paranoia. or
Correct.
delusions of grandeur, which I've studied psychology. It falls into that term.
And lots of people have that, yes.
A
And
lot of people have that. Yeah, they do. But then again, when you're like, I see angels and stuff, and I've never seen anything like that. But it doesn't mean it's not true. I've never seen $10 million. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist,
it's true.
right?
Exactly. I have seen that.
$10 million. I've
Yes.
seen like 1 million, 10 million. I used to be in banking, but uh, yeah, I,
It's
I
a
don't even know.
faith, like you just have to have faith with it. And so, like, because a lot of people, because they wish they could see it. Like the people,
But I don't want to see that stuff. I don't care.
exactly. Like I could teach people how to see auras and how to do it and see it. And I think it just is steps up from that.
Yeah, but that's what you told me last time. Aura is very different than just seeing these things for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Can they like mask themselves as being good, or they just have a certain
they
vibration?
can, but I don't know how it is for other people, but I can always tell if they're
Because-
darker or lighter. And even if they're masking, I'm like, nope, show me your real right now, your heart and who you are.
Why would
and
they show it to you if they're trying to trick you?
They can try, but that doesn't really work with me.
Is it because you're not seeing with your eyes, and you're trying to see with your heart, or maybe you're
I
seeing
see
what?
both, but I see it and feel it, and so it's different for me. Like when other people, I don't know how it is for them, but I know that specifically I can just, it feels like a gray area. Like they're not white, they're not black. If they're kind of in just the state of wanting to mask or trying to deceive you or trick you, it will show up in like a gray area and a gray translucence versus like white or black.
Okay. Because I've heard this quote, and I've talked to psychiatrists about this. They're like, people talk to God all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but if God starts talking to you back, then they're gonna stuff you with pills and throw you into mental ward. like, okay, yeah. So that doesn't really sound right, you know?
Well, see, but prayer is where you are talking to God or source or a higher power, and meditation is where they're talking back and answering.
I've never had anyone talk to me during meditation.
Have you asked?
Well, actually, I've had my grandpa come to me once,
See?
but that was like very real. Like people are like you, but that was like at Joe Dispenza. I was at his meditation retreat, and that was like insane. Like he was just there.
That's cool.
Literally, he was there.
Yeah, that's super cool.
It wasn't like I taught him though, but it was.
He just
I wasn't
showed up.
even on drugs or anything. Like I
Yeah,
didn't do
and they
drugs,
can
but
just show up. Yeah, they just show up.
it was like opening up your heart
Mhm.
chakra, and like I knew exactly why he came at that very time, because like I just like held that in when he died,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just came in and then he just put his hand on my shoulder, and that's
And
it.
you just felt peace.
But I've only seen him like maybe like once or twice after that,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never seen him again.
Yeah, and
But I felt
sometimes-
the sense of peace, and I was like crying a lot, and
even if they don't choose to be seen, they
was-
are still, a lot of the ancestors are still there because they offer, like, you might be crying or sad for no reason, and you might feel them touch you.
but yeah, I did like I saw him there, but I didn't see with my eyes. That's the thing. I mean, people could be like, "You're crazy." I'd be like, "No, dude, like I literally like
would
like
never
my
say
grandpa."
that.
No, but a lot of
But
people
yeah.
can because they've never seen that stuff or they don't want to deal with it. So they could just say, "Dude, you're freaking crazy," or maybe like you just want to see something. You paid a couple $1,000s for a meditation retreat. Like I want to be very rational about this, but there's nothing rational about it.
That's true.
Yeah, there's nothing like however I spin this. There's nothing rational about it. But he was definitely there, and just like just there for me because it was the same time like you open up your heart,
Mm-hmm.
and like me and him had a very we were very close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very cool to actually like be a shaman and to be like have these gifts, and it is
don't know.
because it's scary. I mean, I've been in some cool things. Like I've been in some drum circles, and it was cool because there was it was a women's drum circle, and there was like women ancestors from the people, but there was also like tribunal. There was like women warriors from different Indian tribes too, and it was very, very like cool.
That's sexist. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not sexist because it was at a women's retreat that was
Oh, okay.
happening, so it was.
There's no such thing as a men's retreat because
There is actually.
Really?
One of my mentors is actually putting one on. He is like, I want to do a men's retreat
for like gay guys or
for like no, just any man.
no? I don't know. I don't know if I would want to go to that.
Depends what he's doing. I don't know.
No, I mean whatever they're doing. But yeah. So people have, of course, like you carry your ancestral code with you
You do
because there's genetics.
your epigenetics.
Yeah, that's epigenetics. That's just basic science. You can't just deny that anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But here's the thing: through deep meditation, you can also shut off some of those genes.
You can. And like if people have like mass trauma, you can shut off your gifts and talents and all sorts of things and turn
Well,
them down and be like, no, I can't handle this right now, and just like
well,
step
I
out.
was thinking about the more positive things, like let's say if you have trauma where I don't know, like you have some anxiety, arachnophobia, scared of spiders,
Hmm.
you can shut that off too.
You can. And you can train yourself not to be scared too. And like just get over it too, and like working with it and tell your
But
mind. And
there's also genetic diseases like Huntington's and stuff like that,
that's true too.
Parkinson's,
Hmm.
and you can shut that off too. And there's numerous studies. Like,
That is true.
like over
working with
8,000.
your mind. Yeah, there is just changing your mind, philosophy, and set. You can change a lot of medical stuff.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, you can totally.
Like I've seen miracles because I worked in the medical field and the criminal justice field and everything. It was just
Tell me something interesting that you saw.
everything was interesting. Like yeah, it
Like, what's
was.
something that stood out to you? Like, I cannot explain this.
Mm, when people are about to pass on, a lot of angels actually come to be with those people.
What if they're bad people?
They still have somebody that loved them, somebody that, even if they're bad people, they still have people that on the other side that care about them, that love them.
What do you mean but are those angels or they're just past ancestors? And there's a
Past
difference.
ancestors, angels. Most of the angels have been born already. They've lived before. They lived here, and they come to help other people that haven't passed on yet.
And then they pass on and then they just start matching up other people.
Depends. Some have have different missions. I feel like in
But who
whatever
gives
it
these
is,
people the missions?
probably the source and God and highest power.
So there's the opposite too, you would say?
Yes, there's always opposite in everything.
Yeah, there's. And yeah, the light, the darkness.
Yeah, like because he's known as, well, the devil is known as the father of all the lies, and God is known of as all good things and source and light and love, and because that's
But I
what
feel like it's not that simple. There's some
on.
like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not religious. Like, I like to say I'm more spiritual, but I'm not really
Then you
religious.
could say it's your higher power and higher source and connecting to your godlike self. And
My higher self.
hmm
Yeah, you can. But I've never seen any of these stuff. I mean, I just went grandpa, but that's just like one incident. I've never seen it with my eyes.
you saw it
And
with like your heart, or your
I
mind.
saw it with my heart. Yeah.
So like even in dreams, like they'll come to me, and when they come in dreams, it's interesting because they float a little more in dreams. Like I don't know why, but they.
Well, here I'll tell you why. Because in a dream state, you don't need physical objects. Like, we need this to sit down
Hmm.
because we're physical matter. In a dream state, if you notice, I've read this numerous times. You're in a chair. You're going somewhere. Only in one of I don't remember my dreams, but I
Yeah,
remember
I don't
one
remember
dream
mine either. A whole lot
very
of times.
specifically, and I was sitting down in the chair, and I was like in a place I didn't want to be, so some people lured me there. And I knew that one time I was in a dream, I was like, holy shit, bro, I'm in a dream, and I'm actually sitting down in a chair, which never happens because people don't sit down in chairs, because
Oh,
there's no
that's
purpose.
interesting.
And then like it was very dark dream. It was very it was like dark, and I was like, I knew I was in there, and I was like, hey dude, this doesn't happen. Like, I'm in the dream, and I know like there's something not right.
Those are
Like,
scary. In those kind of situations, I actually will purposely wake myself up if I know that it's a bad area or a bad thing or something happening or like just those feelings. I will wake myself up.
I try to leave the building,
Hmm.
and
done
like
that
someone
in
comes like,
dreams.
hi, come on, dude, what are you scared of? Just throw back in. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm out of here.
Exactly.
I'm out of here. And I think as I left, and I just kind of woke up, and I was like, dude, I texted my cousin. My cousin was in the dream. Like, he walked in. I was
Wow.
like, why are you here? He's like, bro, this place is chill. I was like, no.
You're like, something's off.
Yeah, something's definitely off when there's like satanic stuff going on in here. But I specifically remember sitting down in the chair in the dream, and I was like, hey, dude, like, I'm in the dream. I'm sitting down in the chair. Like, that doesn't happen because you're floating, or the chair is there because it's a projection of your mind
That's
in
interesting.
the physical world. But you're never really sitting down in the chair. You're not using the table. You're not using the fork to eat.
See, that's interesting because I've had dreams where I've done all sorts of different things we do in normal everyday stuff, and like walking and being in cars and sitting and so laying. Like yeah, I don't know. Probably just because it's a thinner line between here and heaven, I guess, for me. And so,
Okay. So you're religious.
yes, I'm religious. I count myself as Christian.
Okay, that's cool.
I actually been to lots of religions though, just because I like to study religion and it's fun. I like learning about different people and things and the way people
Have you
think. And
studied Satanism?
unfortunately, I've known about that too.
You
Yes,
do?
I actually took a criminal justice class that was actually a Satanism and cults class, and I had friends that I knew that were definitely in some of those fields, and I learned lots of stuff. So
Do they
yes,
actually? Is there something where, I mean, I don't know that this is bothering me, but where people like drink kids' bloods or they try to find kids to suck their energy? Is there stuff really like that? Like in Hollywood?
yes.
Really?
But I don't know if I want to get into that one on this particular one.
All right. Yeah. Because I've heard of stuff like that happening, like Pizzagate and all that stuff. And I was like, I just want to hurt those people.
Yeah, me too.
Like
And stay
literally,
away and run because
I
there
don't want to
really
stay away. I'll
is.
take them up front.
So it's really sad because the people that are born into those groups die out of it. That's the only way you get out.
Well, how you born? I don't
Like
want to talk about this to stay away
exactly.
from me. But I will hurt you if I find out you do stuff like that. I don't care about the law. Just throwing it out there. Yeah.
It is scary because I know some other people that have left some of those like satanic groups and it messes them up because they like can't even remember the stuff. And then all of a sudden one day she just was like, "Oh my gosh, I remember like all this crap." And so
But you said something that doesn't resonate with me, or none of it does. But so you said you're born into this. Are you born as a sexual servant, or are you born like, oh, your family's doing this stuff, so
I'm
you're born
talking of
into?
stuff specifically like the occult and like the Satanism. You're those ones, the generational Satanists. You're born into those groups.
But can't you also like join it?
Very rarely,
Very
they
rarely.
actually don't let people just join. There is all
That,
sorts of groups out there that run, the dark arts and whatever that you can join. But some of
is
these
that
ones
like
that are like generational people,
like
some of them
legacies?
legacies.
Legacy, like it's your legacy. Like your
Oh,
grandpa's grandpa's grandpa was the
some of
Satanist
those.
person, and so
You
you
can,
are.
yeah, and so you can get out of them sometimes if you're lucky, but I know too many people that are just in them and they actually, the only way to get out of them is die.
That reminds me of the Men of Letters from Supernatural, like that, like legacy. So the only way, but what if like you're a good person generally, like this is bad. I don't want to be a part of this.
Then you have to give really good reason for them to let you out
Why don't
in
you
one
just shoot
piece.
them all? Seriously, seriously,
Sometimes that would probably be easier,
that
but
would be a lot
except for
easier
it's
because you don't ask for
usually
permission.
like generation of bad things and people and
Yeah,
stuff
because if
going
you have
on.
that bad, just ask for forgiveness. Don't ask for permission. I mean, I'm just going there. Like
Exactly.
yeah, like love and light. Like you want to fight darkness, but sometimes it's not really just let me penetrate them with my heart.
Sometimes you have to, well, and that's why it's physically get out of there, run, leave,
Okay.
clear it out. Like, yeah. And so I feel bad for people that honestly are stuck in that because I know some people that they're good people, but because, like, it's very interesting in those groups too, because a lot of them they have to deal with a lot of brainwashing. And it's really sad because they'll like
But
actually throw kids up into the air and say down, and then they'll put them down and say up. And so they actually mess up like
but
their whole way of thinking.
why would you do that to your own legacy? Wouldn't you want to do that? Don't you want
Well,
to
I
really?
don't want to do that to my
No, no, no,
legacy,
no.
but those people,
I'm thinking like, if don't you want to empower those people and just make it worse, versus like brainwashing them? Because you
no,
could just do
most of
that
the
to
time,
any. You could do that
you're
to any
right.
sheep on the street.
You
But
could, but they do it to their own kids. They do it
and then those kids
100%.
turn around and do it to their kids.
I think so. On the generational ones, the ones that it really are, it's everything gets passed down. It's super like messed up. Like it really messes with like their psyche and their energy, and it's just very interesting.
Because
But
I know a
yeah,
shaman in Peru, and he's from Britain, and he said he was traumatized from that. I don't know if it was satanic, but he said it was sexual abuse from. I don't know what's the term he put, but it was like I was like, dude, he's like, yeah, man, he's like that stuff is real. I was like, holy shit. Like I've never really
a
met anyone.
hundred
I mean,
percent.
I guess they're not really open about it if they're abusing kids. Probably throw a cocktail bomb.
Or like they don't do it anymore, or so a lot of people don't know it because like a lot of people in like society, it's interesting because like even like when I studied criminal justice, the people that would take and kill and hurt kids, a lot of them they'll still go help look for the kids, and they're like, oh, they're still an upstanding citizen, but it's really interesting. The whole criminal justice world is very interesting
They'll go
because
look for the kid.
yeah, even though they're the ones that took them or killed them, because they have portrayed what society, thinks of them.
Yeah, they're just mimicking people empathy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that happens.
Okay.
That actually happens a lot. Like, it's kind of scary.
Got it. That's yeah, we just went down the rabbit hole.
We did, but it's a very short. That's why I'm like not going down it all the way. But
Yeah. I don't want to go down because I feel like, but I've never been exposed to anything like that. But I always tell myself
That's good.
the world is like a nice place, and most people are nice.
I agree.
Yeah. Um, and I've never seen anything like that. But how do you think people could just help themselves, like improve their lives, vibrate, like
Be around people that actually bring you up and make you a better person. Like you feel like you honestly are a better person around with somebody in your life. And if there's somebody in your life that just tears you down emotionally and mentally and spiritually and physically, and they just don't care about you as a person, limit being around those types of people, because you don't want to be around people that are like negative Nelly people all the time, because it eventually just drains on you. And so if you're around people that are happier and just better mindset and actually love themselves,
yeah,
is actually one of the biggest things. Like you meet people that truly just don't like themselves and you're like, oh my gosh. And
yeah,
so it's way better to just love and appreciate yourself and where you come from and your struggle, and love the other people and their
yeah,
journey and their struggle.
yeah. But you have to first love yourself and
You
then
do.
learn to love other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people that'll just go out of the way to help other people, and they'll help themselves last. And I used to be one of those people, and I just stopped. I'm like, actually, let me take care of myself first, and then I'll worry about you. And they're like, no, I need your help. I'm like, well, yeah, that's your problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's your problem,
Oh,
bro. I'm like, let me take care of what I have to, and then once I have some time, I will go out of my way for you. But I'm
so
gonna take care of myself first.
totally true. Because if you don't tell, well, they even tell you on the like an airplane, they tell you to put your own face mask
Yeah,
on first, because you can't help
yeah.
somebody else you love if you're dead. And so yeah,
But
you
another
have
thing
to.
was when you're a kid, like you just want to be like people that are older than you, like maybe like people that are around you, uncle, neighbor, family members. Like, man, this place is awesome, you know. But when you grow up, you're like, that person was a piece of shit.
Yep.
Yeah, like you really see them for who they are.
You're like,
And then
oh, that great great uncle that you're like find out's an alcoholic and super abusive. You're like, no wonder we never got to be at their house, and like,
yeah, yeah,
because their parents like knew some stuff, so they
yeah, and then you see
shielded you from
people's
some
flaws
things.
more. And
See,
I
and like
mean,
with me, like I just accept people, and I'm very unjudgmental person. Like I've already seen it all, been around it all,
yeah, but when you
done
see
it all,
someone that's like
whatever. So it's
constantly like abusing themselves with alcohol, doing certain things, I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't want to say judge them like you're a bad person, shame on you, but like like
I still try to teach them and send them love and be like, hey, you're, killing yourself. And like, I actually helped lots of people to stop drinking and
that's
stop
good.
smoking and stop whatever. But like, I had friends and cousins and family members I had were starting to get like liver spots. They were drinking so much you could see it on the outside of their body. I'm like, you're killing yourself. I'm like,
See,
I'm like, that little thing on your stomach is growing bigger, and that's a
yeah,
liver spot, and you need to like stop drinking.
see,
Like,
I'll help
truly.
people that ask for my help,
Hmm.
but I've noticed in life you can't really help people that don't want your help.
That's
Like
100% true.
so like I mean even if they're like bottom in a dump, if they ask for help, yeah, I will personally help them. But like I've noticed, like I don't want to drag my own ideology, my thoughts, my beliefs down other people's throats. Like first,
Exactly.
it's not right. Second of all, they're just not gonna. It's just not gonna work. I have a little cousin. He's like 22, and he always asks like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like he drinks a lot. He doesn't drink a lot, but he just eats a lot, and
Mm.
he has poor habits. He'll eat like not in sleep. Drinks a lot of sugar, and his doctors even told him numerous times, "You're borderline diabetic. You need to stop this. You're 22. You're fat. You're out of shape. You're gonna
Wow.
die when you're 40." And
Jeez.
and he's like, "Oh, what should I do?" I was like, "Here, bro. Like, go talk to this therapist. Like, I know different people. Just like he doesn't care. He just like wants that empathy, because I guess he never died when he was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
because he has a brother that's autistic.
Mm.
He got all the love and he didn't. And now like he has like internal bleeding problems, and he's 22, 23. He's like,
That's
"Oh, I don't know what to do."
young.
I was like, "Bro, you know exactly what to do. Like, I'm
You're
not
like,
even gonna help you anymore."
jeez.
I'm like, "You know what to do. Like, you know what to do."
You're like, stop drinking pop and stuff, because it's going to, like, there's so much sugar in all of our food. It gets made with
Yeah.
so much sugar
But
now, and
but
like
when people are
drinks and
like, "I
stuff.
don't know what to do," I'm like, "You know what to do, bro. You just don't want to do it." And
Exactly.
you sleep in until noon, and
That's not healthy.
you stay until like 3 a.m. Like you don't exercise. Like you know what to do, really. So like I have like kind of like a I don't know. It's like now that the internet's out, like we have access to all this information. Like, yeah, there's a lot of information, but like the basics, we all know it. Drink more water. Don't drink soda
Exactly. Well,
and
like
stuff like
there's a
that.
half a cup of sugar in every can of pop. That's a lot.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't drink soda.
yeah, I don't either. I don't like it. I'll have it like once a year, twice a year, and that's it. Because I'm like, and I always feel like sick when I drink it.
Yeah, but how do you help people like that?
I encourage with healthy things, and because most of the time it's a habit, and so if you replace like drinking pop with drinking flavored water or something, and you
Yeah,
just switch it over instead, and so or like these people like
but they don't want
Zipfizz
to.
and caffeine
They
and
don't want to.
Monster and have those kind of caffeines, I guess, instead. But
But they don't want to.
a lot of people don't.
No, I mean like especially
I
this
think
guy.
I think you actually have to have something so serious that it
Like what?
makes you want to change your life.
He's been to the doctor like 4 times, like ER, this, that. It's like you're born on diabetic, you're gonna die. Like,
Is
or you're gonna
he
become full on diabetic.
like super obese or like?
Yeah,
Jeez Louise, wow. I would still try to help them, and I would still mindset and mind over matter.
yeah.
And
But I've
like
tried numerous times, and I was like, I'm not dealing
then
with
they're
you.
probably not the right person to help them. That's all. Because everybody doesn't want to be helped, especially family. Like
What
they
if they
don't
reach out to you?
Oh, then I
But
still try to help
but
them,
apparently they reach out to everyone, and but
Oh.
they don't. They even.
but they don't
he's-
take the advice from
They don't
anyone.
take the advice from anyone. He even went and saw a psychologist randomly. He just googled someone, paid him $250 per hour, and the guy's like at the very end, he's like, "I just gave you all this advice. Are you actually gonna listen to me?" And he's just like, "No." He's like, "All right, have a nice day. Thank you for paying me."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's purposely like sabotaging himself. And
Yeah,
that's where I think that's where the
self-sabotage.
self-sabotage, and that's where like when it goes back to when you're listening to stuff that you shouldn't, and you should tell yourself good things and get rid of all your automatic negative thoughts and the automatic negative thoughts.
Self-destructive emotions.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you get out of that program?
A lot of work on yourself. I would also still get more counseling and therapy, but I would also, do mind like things to strengthen your mind and to better yourself, and like read stuff that's actually helpful to you, and read stuff.
And stop watching the news.
That's true. I don't watch the news anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I'm
too
just saying
depressing.
because
It
you
totally
said
is. It's so
you actually
depressing.
help people, and you're recommended by some other people that I know, and I mean I just want to get your take on it. So, yeah, that's just that.
Yeah, I agree with you. The news is very negative, and so it actually is super depressing. So I actually don't watch it. Like I'll hear pieces that are like major stories, but I don't sit and watch it and listen to it anymore. I used to. And
Nice.
I just
Okay.
can't.
Yeah, I mean I just stopped because it's not really healthy for you.
Yep.
It's just bad. I mean I've never heard like positive news like, hey, this person just donated.
And so then it was like you just internalize those bad things, and it's like, no, I don't want to pass that into my body. And so I'm actually very aware of what like music and books and just anything like I'm around, like I just am very aware because I don't want to put crap into my body that I worked really hard to getting out.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I just did Chris Crohn's retreat thingy this last couple weeks, and he talks about the belief breakthroughs and getting rid of all of his negative bad belief breakthroughs that he's done. And it's cool to just get rid of that stuff out of your life and mind and body and replace it with something positive.
I need to listen to this guy. See, but that's very practical. There's
Mhm.
people that do very spiritual stuff that's like way out there. I don't know who to believe, who to not, but like that stuff is very practical and it will help you.
It does.
Yeah, it's limited mindsets.
And you change your mindset to have a better belief, and then it actually works because you live in the gratitude of it, happening now, and changing whatever you want to happen, have it happen now. And then
Yeah.
one day you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, it's changed, and it's
Yeah.
there, and it's really cool.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed is I thank my brain every time I want to procrastinate, but I do not. I just say thank you, and it helps out a lot.
It does. That actually is big. That's
It is,
huge.
and guess what? Like I reach my goals twice as fast because I don't procrastinate.
Exactly.
Like stuff that I really don't like doing.
That's the stuff
cleaning-
I teach people too. I
Like
truly try
cleaning
to
the
help-
bathroom.
Exactly. You just
That's
do
what I
it.
did yesterday. My throat was gone. I couldn't work, and
Oh,
I'm like
no.
on the phones. And I was like, "Later, am I just gonna sit on my ass all day and just be productive?" So like, I actually did a deep clean because just my throat, my body was fine. So I wasn't sick. Like, yeah, I was resting. Like I wasn't talking. So
Yeah.
what I did is I just deep cleaned my house. Deep
That's
cleaned,
awesome.
which I don't like doing. But I deep cleaned the bathroom. I shoe shined. I went to the store and bought a shoe shine kit. I started shoe shining my shoes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did that with the kitchen the other day. I'm like, nope, it was not horrible, but I'm like, I just got to get it perfect and put it back the way it was. And
Yeah.
I like everything.
Yeah.
Just put away
I
everything.
exercised like 3 hours. Not
That's
exercise, sorry, I read. I exercised my mind. I'd meditated for like 2 hours, which I do all the time. But the point was like I was just doing positive things for myself. I didn't just sit on the couch and watch TV.
Oh, absolutely.
I did for like an hour at the end. But
Well,
it was just
but that's relaxing at the
Yeah,
end.
that was
and
just
that's-
chilling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because that was your unwind time. But yeah,
but
it's the
people
people
kept
that,
calling me like, "Let's go out, do this." I was like, "No, bro, I'm just gonna relax and heal." Like I wasn't gonna go out because I have to go out and socialize with people.
well, still saying no to somebody else is saying yes to something else for yourself too. So like when you don't want to do something and you're like, they ask you and you say no, it's still giving yourself permission to say yes to have something else and have your self-care.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds very good. That's actually very interesting. On the last piece of topic we could touch on, I was like asking people this: what would be like one piece of advice you would be able to give people that are struggling, they're in a bad place in their life? What would you tell them?
Look in a mirror and just smile at yourself and actually send yourself love and appreciation for who you are and where you're at right now. And every day, look in the mirror and actually tell yourself that you're important and matter and try to smile at yourself because most people can't look at themselves in a mirror. It's actually
Wow.
super hard. And so if you do it and you just do it, and it takes practice. And it feels really weird
They
at
can't
first.
look at themselves?
Oh, there's tons of people that can't.
Really?
They can't look at themselves in the mirror because they are so just negative and consumed in like things. But I'm like, no, look at yourself and actually smile at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you matter and that you're important. And it actually changes your life. Like knowing that you actually love yourself and
Yeah.
that you're like, whoa, this is so cool. And you can actually smile and love the person back looking at you.
Emily, that's actually great advice because I look at myself in the mirror and I just wink like that's a joke and I just start smiling. It happens every so
Exactly.
often. Yeah.
Yeah, but actually look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I love you. I love you, man. I love you, woman. I love you. You know, say your name and say it and be proud of who you are and your name and truly accepting like the love back, just coming from the mirror and going, oh my gosh. And just feeling, and it's super weird at first. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, people, it truly is like,
Not
it
really.
was so, at first, like when I started doing it, it was like, it was really hard to look at myself and say, I love you to myself in
shouldn't
the mirror.
be.
I just shouldn't be, but
Shouldn't
it
be.
is for people.
But nobody's looking at you. You can just do it.
I know, and I do it just even just thinking about it. I'll be like, Emily, you got this, and I'll be like, smile and be like, you're important and you're loved, and it
Good.
changes your outlook.
Good. Cool. Right on. Thank you so much for jumping on my podcast. I
Thank
will
you so
leave
much
your
for having
information,
me.
so people can reach out to you. I don't know, for a wide variety of things.
My email is
I'll put it on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll put it on there for sure. And your phone number and Facebook, whatever you want me to.
Okay.
Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and subscribe to this episode. Help me out, and we'll catch you next time.